I'm Doug Carlberg. This video we're putting together for Bob Toll and for Melinda, Chip, Laura, and your kids. This is a little bit about how we remember Bob and how he impacted a lot of people's career over time. You know, I started off going to college in the 60s, interrupted it a little bit during the Vietnam period and went back to college and got a degree in mechanical engineering and got recruited by GE on their training program, manufacturing training program. And my first assignment was Utica, New York. And lo and behold, my first boss was Bob Toll. Early on, he recognized that I was former military. He was too. But Bob really kind of took me under his wing and kind of showed me the ropes on how corporate America works. On the training program in GE is a little bit like IBM. A lot of people don't understand what IBM stands for, but if you talk to anybody from IBM, it says, "I've been moved." At General Electric Company, it was much the same. So I had to rotate off shortly after that, after my assignment in Utica, and I ended up in Hickory, North Carolina. And the story about Hickory will come back a little bit later. But Bob was amazing. We would stay in contact over the years. I had multiple assignments in 3 other locations at General Electric Company. I was up in Somersworth, New Hampshire, and Bob gives me a call and says, "You're coming up for rotation again, and part of the GE Management Reassignment Program. You want to come work for me in Hickory, North Carolina?" There I ended up back in Hickory underneath Bob. He was the production manager. We had a major issue with the union down there at the time. I was one of his production managers on the floor. Great mentor, not only mentored me, but a number of other people at the location in Hickory. No sooner than I was there a year, the next thing I know, Bob got rotated off and left me. But he kept in touch with me. That's the amazing thing about it. And we would contact and talk to each other multiple times a year and gave me a lot of great advice. He was a great identifier of young talent and would work with us to really improve our skills and really help us get promoted. And a lot of what I did over the years, my success, I really appreciate what Bob did for me. And he also taught me to give back. And I've tried to do that over the years. I get recognized from the Association for Manufacturing Excellence as a Lifetime Achievement Award because I spent over 17 years in leadership roles there, helping and mentoring not only people, but companies. Later in my career, I ended up getting recruited by Harris Corporation for their microwave communication division. They had 3 locations, and one of them was located here in San Antonio. You're going to hear a little bit from Archie Wolford, one of the key players in the team in San Antonio here in a minute. We had a heck of a challenge on our hands. I got recruited as part of a turnaround team. That division was the worst division in the corporation. And our goal was to either get it to be the best or get it cleaned up enough that we could sell that division. And we were working very hard at it at the time. We had 3 locations. We had one in California, one in Canada, and the one in San Antonio. The one in San Antonio had a very young team, and we quickly identified if we were going to turn things around, we needed to do it in San Antonio. And we put all of our focus on San Antonio, and then the other 3 locations or 2 locations we thought would follow suit. Halfway through turning that division around, I had a key quality manager that was commuting back and forth from Austin, and it ended up getting in a serious car accident and ended up in a coma and eventually died. We were in a dilemma. Our quality system was way behind. We had a bunch of issues that needed to be fixed. And I was sitting around, and at the time, Mike Upton, who was my original teammate and cubemate at Utica, I had recruited him to come work for me and heading up our material group. And he says, I heard Bob retired from Thiokol, and to see if he interested to come in and work part-time to help turn things around. He ended up in San Antonio, turning that whole quality department around, along with mentoring not only a lot of the management team, but the junior people that we had hired. Showing up in San Antonio, immediately got involved in training us on aerospace standards that they did to build rockets together at Thiokol, and really was pushing the whole organization, and also reached out to a number of our young engineers. And a lot of us have a lot to appreciate what he did. Fast forward, and I'll have Archie talk a little bit about this next.
All right, thanks for the introduction, Doug. My name is Archie Wolford, as Doug said, and as the Advanced Manufacturing Engineering Director at Harris Corporation during the mid-'90s, I was one of the beneficiaries of having Bob work with us. He was there a little over a year, and not only did he work with the quality department, but as the manufacturing engineering director, I had a number of new engineers that were hired, and as part of our continuous improvement program. And he did a wonderful job of attending their meetings. There had numerous projects going on at the same time. So it was really a challenge to try to keep those young engineers enthusiastic and also keep them under control as Bob could do. And so anyway, we really appreciated having him around. I learned a lot. I was new in my career, and of course these other engineers were very, very new in their careers. And Bob, of course, being a seasoned engineering manager, and did a great job. Like I said, I can't express it more as to how much value he brought to our organization and helped us achieve the role of that we were looking at, to becoming the best division in the corporation, and that's exactly what we did. And a lot of it is because of Bob. So we really appreciate having Bob work with us for that year and a half. It really was important to us.
Okay, thank you, Archie. And let's fast forward another 5 years in the future. Like anything in corporate America, a lot of policies changed. And at that particular time, Harris decided they wanted to get out of the commercial division and get into just government contracting. As a result, I had an opportunity to buy some of the product lines. And at the time, I wasn't quite sure if that's really what I wanted to do or stay in corporate America. They did give me the option to relocate to another division, another location. And I called up Bob and said, Bob, these are the alternatives I've got, and what do you think? And it was a great sounding board. He really helped me kind of work through the process. And that's how M2 Global was formed. 3 years later, after talking to Bob almost 2 or 3 times a year on different type of situations that we're going through on a startup company, I met my wife Patty, and we got married. And Bob couldn't wait to be there with his wife Millie at our wedding, and we had a grand time. And with that, over the years, every time we could connect, a lot of times I was in Utah, we'd get together. Bob was a great friend, a great leader, a great mentor, and I'm truly going to miss not having those discussions with him. You had a great father and grandfather. He was an amazing man.